Hello and welcome to my horror writing segment where I will deliver some handy tips for aspiring writers if you have writer's block and for those wanting to turn your stories into a short film if this is the direction you are going in. So today I'll be discussing jump scares, which is one of the number one reasons I started watching and reading horror in the first place, is because I wanted a scare. And it's probably the main reason you like to watch, read, or write in the horror genre. So over the years, I've noticed a shift from, say, the 80s jump scares like Nightmare on Elm Street, Evil Dead, just to name a couple, to where now jump scares are often too predictable. There are too many, and then it becomes ridiculous and can become very boring. And the tension and anticipation dies off. So we need to be careful where we place the jump scares, or the audience can become numb to it and switch off. So hopefully this week's tips will help you on your journey this week. Today we'll be talking about atmosphere. So think of the atmosphere you are creating. So the reader needs to feel the dreadful feeling that something is not quite right even before the event occurs. I like to use as much sensory details as possible to build the picture, and it's incredibly important when it comes to atmosphere. The audience wants to know the environment by utilizing their senses, like hearing the sounds of the forest as your character treks through the bush, smelling the air that is thick with smoke from a campfire, or the smell of the damp earth, feeling the creeping sensation of being watched and having to look over your shoulders. And then think of texture and how you want your audience to be immersed in it, like the cold tiles beneath their feet as they inch their way along the corridor. Also, think of the colours and how this enhances the story. Is the landscape drenched in golden hue? So here is an example I've used in a story to build atmosphere. The sun arrives upon the horizon in a beautiful display of magenta, orange, and golds. You're standing on the balcony against the backdrop of the glorious sky with a hot coffee in hand, watching as a soft drizzle of rain falls from the heavens. This is how you usually spend the early mornings, reflecting on life. Raindrops splatter your clothes, and your short, curly jet black hair is now wet and dripping down your body as a drizzle turns to heavy rain. So in the next video, I will talk about jump scares and tension and how this element in writing horror can help you to keep the audience invested in your story. So I hope this week's tips will help you on your writing journey this week. You have been listening to me, a Mistress of Darkness. Happy writing, my fellow horror fiends. Now get writing, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.